I'm Katie and welcome back to Dark Sunlight. It has been a minute since we've done one of these face-to-face videos, and I have a whole bunch of new subscribers now, so hey, hi, bonjour! I hope you're all having a great January. I hope you're all rocking those resolutions. Or not, I mean, go at your own pace. You don't need to New Year, New Me to have a great January. That's fine. Speaking of resolutions though, I decided to try out Veganuary for the first month, which if you can't guess by the name, it means going vegan for January. Now, I've been vegetarian for about 3 years now, and before that I was kind of pseudo-vegetarian. I basically didn't eat any meat at all except for occasionally eating sushi. I guess that's pescatarian. Sushi-tarian? Sushi-tarian. You can totally make vegan sushi and it's delicious. I just didn't know that at the time. Anyways, yes. So I've been wanting to go vegan for a while, and the only thing really holding me back is like the fear of being an inconvenience to people. And it's also just kind of tough when you go to restaurants sometimes. Although in Montreal, I have some pretty awesome options for vegan foods, even at the places that aren't like entirely vegan. So that's pretty good. Anyways, I thought this was just like a really good excuse to put in the extra effort and be fully vegan as opposed to just being vegan-esque at home. And one caveat before we get started, I will never judge what's on your plate. I've been wanting to go vegan mainly because of environmental reasons, but you can totally, like, don't take my word for it. You can go out, do your own research. If you come back with different conclusions and you want to keep consuming animal products, you do you. I'm really not going to get my knickers in a twist about what you eat. Also, the food I eat is not necessarily nutritious or healthy. I'm not suggesting this is like the perfect diet. It's just what I like to eat. I have some days that are healthier, some days that are not so healthy, and I like to keep the balance that way. So I thought I would show you what I eat in a day on a typical Veganuary day, and let's get started with some breakfast.
Breakfast for me is incredibly simple because, quite frankly, it's often non-existent. I tend to wait a couple of hours after I wake up before I eat any food because it just doesn't feel great to me if I try to force myself to eat before that. I do my best to eat intuitively, meaning I eat when I'm hungry and I don't when I'm not. So often my breakfast is just a nice French press coffee with some soy creamer in it that I have around 10 a.m. Soy coffee creamer is by far my favorite coffee embellishment, but other great options are plain or vanilla soy milk, oat milk, or for feeling extra fancy, macadamia milk. The reason I like this little creamer best is because it holds up well in hot beverages, unlike some almond milks that can kind of separate weirdly. This creamer also froths up rather nicely if you want to make a latte with it.
If I am having a day where I am kind of craving a slightly more substantial breakfast, I will often keep it really simple and just have some toast and peanut butter, or I'll cook up some oats on the stove and add some brown sugar and maple syrup, maybe a bit of cinnamon. And of course, I would suggest probably adding some fruit to your breakfast, but I'm just extremely lazy in the morning.
Sometime between noon and 1 is around the time that I'll take a break from my work and make some lunch. I like to keep lunch super simple so that I can get back to work quickly, so some common lunches I'll have are instant ramen, chickpea salad sandwiches, or a pre-made vegan bowl from the corner store. Today I'm going to whip up a little Caesar wrap using these vegan chicken strips. I love these things and definitely eat them far more often than I should. Meat replacement products are not the healthiest things you could be eating, but they are very delicious and often a great way for people trying to either transition to a plant-based way of eating or simply trying to fit more plant-based meals into their regular diet. Normally I would bake these up ahead of time and keep them in an airtight container in the fridge so that I can grab a few to make a sandwich whenever I need them throughout the week. They do get less crispy in the fridge, but they last at least a couple of days. All I'm going to do now is chop a few of them into smaller pieces and cut up some iceberg lettuce. I bought this vegan Caesar dressing from a local restaurant that sells some of their sauces and products. I'm just going to spread that onto a tortilla, lay down all of my chicken and lettuce, and roll it up. Assuming I had pre-cooked the chicken, lunch would be served in less than 5 minutes, just the way I like it.
So dinner is where I actually get to have a little bit more fun. I actually really enjoy cooking, and I also spend a lot of time watching vegan YouTube channels for ideas. Some of my favorites are Live Bee, Edgy Veg, and Hot for Food, which are all fellow Canadians. And then there's also Avant-Garde Vegan and Sweet Simple Vegan. There's lots more, but those are the ones I go to over and over. I'll link to everybody in the description below, so you can go check them out too if you want. That being said, the recipe I'm making today was actually originally a taste-made recipe, and it was full of cheese. And after making it that way once, I made it again and just didn't put cheese in it, and it was great. Like, it made no difference at all. It still tasted amazing. So now I just make it like that. So what we're gonna make today is sweet potato taquitos.
I'm sure no one is surprised that we'll start off by peeling and chopping some sweet potatoes. You could bake, steam, or boil the potatoes like I did. It doesn't really matter as long as you can mash them up when they're done. The other main part of the filling is black beans, for which I just used canned for simplicity, but you could cook some up if you wanted. The spices I used are cumin and chili pepper, as well as salt and pepper. These are just diced pickled jalapeños with a bit of the brine from the jar as well, and some chopped garlic. Once it was all mixed together, I threw in the black beans and some chopped red onion and gave it another stir. Then it's just a matter of dropping some of the filling onto the tortillas and rolling them up. Before tossing them in the oven, I brush them with some oil so they can get a bit crispier. While those are in the oven, let me take a second to recognize my newest patrons, Beth, Lauren, and Stephanie. Welcome to the team! I'm incredibly grateful for your support, and I hope you love the bonus content and printables. If you want to see your name in the credits of every video, come join the team over on Patreon. I'll leave a link in the description below. And while we're at it, if you're enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up, click subscribe, and ring the bell to get notifications every time I post a new video. Okay, back to the food. Before Veganuary, I would have dipped these taquitos into salsa and sour cream, but today I'll stick to salsa and homemade guacamole. I learned this guac recipe from my dad, and not only is it easy, but it has also been known to convert a number of guac haters over the years, including my partner. The only difficult part of this recipe is finding avocados that don't suck, and in Canada, in the winter, it can be a rough go, but for some reason, every avocado I opened today was perfect. I guess the avocado gods were smiling upon me. I used 4 small avocados for this, which I just scooped into a bowl and then added some lemon juice, brine from the pickled jalapeños, and chopped garlic. Next, I chopped up some more pickled jalapeños and a red bell pepper, which I used about half of. Lastly, I added some salt and pepper and stirred it all together.
That pretty much wraps what I eat in a day. Sometimes after dinner I will have a sweet, like if I have baked vegan chocolate chip cookies that week, or maybe a mug of hot cocoa, or a glass of wine, but that's a pretty typical day of eating for me. I hope you've enjoyed hanging out with me today, and if you like this style of video and would like to see more in the future, please let me know in the comments below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Until next time. Are we on the level? Yes, I said on the level. We're cool now. Hello, I'm Katie and welcome back to Dark Sunlight. Just kidding. I'll get this right eventually. Hey sunshine, oh my god.